What's up guys, Goldie Fuego here today with another video. And since ReZero Season 2 is coming up soon, I thought I'd do a video on why the protagonist, Natsuki Subaru, is a great character. Before I start the video, I'm just gonna say that I'll be covering minor Season 2 content, because it's content that gives us more insight on what Subaru's life was before this all happened. You have been warned. Let's get right into it. Who is Natsuki Subaru? From a young age, Subaru idolized his father, who was highly talented and a popular man in his community. Subaru's father was good at everything he did and a man who prioritized his family over everything else. Kenichi, his father, was everything Subaru wanted to be, and growing up around him had a huge impact on Subaru's life. Taking pride in being his son, Subaru made sure he worked harder in order to live up to his father's greatness. For a time, Subaru had achieved this. He had found himself smarter and more popular than his peers. When Subaru was praised, people would say it was expected of him, since he was the son of Kenichi, and Subaru took great pride in this, and built a sense of superiority over others. However, as the young boy's small world started to expand upon entering middle school, Subaru had realized that there were limits to his own abilities. Suddenly he began to see people who were becoming smarter and faster than he was, and it didn't take long for his pride to crumble. Subaru began to feel a deep sense of shame for not living up to his father. But rather than trying to get better at those things to combat his anxieties, Subaru decided to place more importance in doing daring things that would keep him as the center of attention. However, slowly but surely, the more reckless Subaru became, the more people started to drift away. Subaru began to plunge in a pool of his own lies, because as the son of his seemingly great father, he couldn't be seen as a failure. One day, Subaru realized that he no longer had any friends left, and by the time he reached high school, he had given up on being himself. Subaru had tried to emulate his father, which instead led to people seeing Subaru as a clown until they eventually ignored his existence altogether. From there on, he had stopped going to school, locked himself in his room, playing games all day, and gave up on facing his problems. From a young boy who everyone loved, to a 17-year-old who disassociated himself from society, a NEET who did nothing more than live his life in his little bubble of comfort. This is the Natsuki Subaru you see at the beginning of the story. One day, Subaru went to the convenience store, rubbed his eyes, and had been summoned over to another world, and thus the story of ReZero began. What makes Subaru such a great character? Subaru was powerless with no known way back to his world, a boy who had left nothing behind because the only people who cared for him were his parents, and even then, he believed they had saw him as worthless. Being a complete stranger to this world, Subaru had felt a sense of liberation, and after meeting Emilia, he had found a new sense of purpose. But his lingering feelings and insecurities didn't go away just like that. It was only when he was forced up against impossible odds, lost everything, and was brought down to his lowest, did Subaru let go of his big ego and began bearing his heart. With the support of his new loved ones, he was able to stop running from himself as he did in the past, and instead, forgive the Subaru of the past and push forward. People love to say that ReZero is a depressing story and that as a protagonist, Subaru is boring, but that's not what I saw. What I saw was a man who fell down, tripped, cut his knees, and lost his mind, but said that he wasn't going to give up and kept marching forward. What makes Subaru a great protagonist has nothing to do with abilities or anything fancy like that. It's just that he shows us the ugly and scary side of humans, while also showing us the warm and caring passionate side. Subaru had never given up on the light at the end of the tunnel, and when he was about to, he had his loved ones to support him. At the beginning of the story, Subaru was nothing more than a pathetic boy with nothing special about him. But he shows that just because you start at zero, doesn't mean you can't reach the stars. What we all need to remember is that life's not about how many times you fall, but it's about how many times you can get back up. And that is the ongoing story of the realistic protagonist, Natsuki Subaru. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe. And also comment down below your opinions on Subaru as a character. As always, have an awesome day, and I'm out.